Deep within the Savage Divide, Vault 96 is designed to be an ark for the atomic age, preserving the genetic blueprints of Earth's flora and fauna. But as the vault door was sealed, the true nature of its sinister mission was revealed to the 5 unlucky souls inside. They were to be helping a shadow benefactor genetically mutate and manipulate a biological horror. Welcome back to the channel, Wanderbirds. I'm Vault Zero. Today we crack open the Vault-Tec archive. We discover the secrets of the legendary creature Specimen X-001. We discover its origins, its powers, what makes it so unique, and what made it worth killing over. Because as we'll soon see, the protocol of Vault 96 is that no one was to be left alive. No one, that is, except for Overseer Eric DeMarcos. But to fully grasp the full picture of what happened to Vault 96, we need to go back to the beginning. Beginning construction in 2074, Vault 96 was pitched and sold to the American populace as the Ark of the Atomic Age. Should the worst ever happen, various animals as well as flora collected from the country would be stored in the state-of-the-art preservatory. This would allow future generations of survivors to reseed the Earth and return the planet to its pre-apocalyptic state. Construction ended, and the vault was ready in August of 2077, a few months ahead of the bombs. It was hailed to the nation as the largest cryogenic storage facility the world has ever seen, capable of storing 10,000 animal specimens. Publicly, the vault's mission was what I just stated, and also to monitor post-war surface conditions and the damage caused by the nuclear and/or biochemical attacks on fauna and flora. However, the 5 scientists chosen to stay in the vault, Overseer Eric DeMarcos, Jeanette Higgins, Hans Memling, Nina Vela, and Molly Cooper, would soon find an addendum added to the same mission, an addendum that would add an extreme layer of complexity. This addendum would go completely against their original orders, and would instead ask them, nay, demand, that they conduct genetic experiments to explore mutated fauna and develop countermeasures against anything that we may encounter upon resurfacing from the vaults. Made up by the vault's mainframe, quotas will be needed to be fulfilled on a weekly basis that would be sent to Overseer Eric and distributed to the remainder of the scientific team. It was the Overseer's responsibility to see the progress and ensure results. The experiment was to run for 250 weeks at the very least. To get a better understanding, we will listen to several holotapes left by the dead dwellers of 96.
Are there really 10,000 creatures in cryo here? And instead of preserving them, you want us to experiment on them, induce mutations, optimize for lethality.
Those are our orders. You will all have weekly research quotas to meet.
And if we refuse? Or fall short?
Anyone failing to meet their quota, or otherwise trying to rebel, will be eliminated.
You can't be serious!
After the 250-week time frame, the vault mainframe was programmed to exterminate all crew members, with the exception of Overseer DeMarcos. He would be the only one allowed to leave the vault after the experiment had concluded, and as a final part of the vault's construction, a secret Cryogenic Bay 86 was installed. It contained a mysterious entity only known as Specimen X-001. The bay could not be accessed by any living souls inside the vault, only by the vault maintaining itself. It was hidden behind a tungsten door with military-grade encryption. During the first weekly meeting session, the remainder of the team would express extreme resentment towards Overseer Eric. This was due to the forced, unethical research that they were made to take part in, as well as the threat of termination of any that chose not to participate and comply with Eric's demands and quotas. It would begin with a minuscule 4 credits a week. The biology staff maintained credit gain by forcing various experiments, as well as experimental mutations upon the various creatures. They would then force these abominations to fight each other. This would allow them to document which mutations were more powerful and more adept for survival over the course of the next 3 years. The staff maintained their assigned duties. The biological team was diligently documenting all discovered mutations inflicted on these animals stored in the vault.
Genetic research log, week 100, retrospective. Our first mutations were simple enough. venom, regeneration, electrogenesis, natural phenomena with well-understood biochemical processes. Despite my initial misgivings, developing, adapting, and enhancing general-purpose mutagenic sequences has been a fascinating challenge. So much so that I fear we have set the bar too high. Eric's quotas are ever more aggressive, even as potential research targets grow increasingly elusive. Molly and I have moved on to more speculative mutations, chameleonization, pyrokinesis, cryokinesis. But after that, I am less certain. This pace is maddening. How much longer can we maintain it?
During week 142, the team would stumble upon a new mysterious mutation. This would come when Specimen X-001's DNA would be inserted into a petri dish. It would rapidly spread to all the other perfectly sealed dishes and effortlessly mimic the effects of the other discovered mutations. Nina would attempt to study the mutation of the original specimen, however she could not access the undocumented Bay 86. When these newly mutated creatures became stressed, they also gained the ability of shifting or teleportation, which could cause disastrous results, such as shifting into another mutated being, fusing the two permanently together.
Genetic Research Log Week 142. Specimen X-001 has been a most remarkable success. I confess, I was skeptical when Molly showed me her analysis. There was little to work with, given its unique biology. As an initial bench test, I spliced each of our extant stable mutations into separate samples. They all worked flawlessly, as if we had spent months adapting them. And then the mutations spread. They somehow shifted from one sealed petri dish to the next until all the samples exhibited all of the mutations. Fascinating. I wanted to proceed to live subject testing immediately, but all of our attempts to resuscitate a specimen have been blocked. Hans is looking into it. In the meantime, this transference capability merits further investigation.
The unfortunate lack of access to Specimen X-001 would prove to be detrimental to the science by week 148.
Genetic Log Week 148? 148. There is little progress to report. Too little. The shifting mutation is still unstable. When stressed, subjects will shift or phase or whatever it is. It works, but it's inconsistent, uncontrollable. Without some understanding of the underlying physics or biology, there is little I can do to stabilize or improve on it. If I could study the original specimen, perhaps I could make some progress. But there is apparently only one subject in a secured cryonics bay with military access controls. I've no doubt Eric could get in, but he has refused. I have put everything into this research. I'm out of time. I will not make my quota. Forgive me, Molly.
Without access to the original specimen, the team was unable to stabilize or improve on the mutation. Due to this, Nina would fail to meet her quota of 568 credits. She would be subsequently killed by the Vault mainframe. Following Nina's death, the remainder of the residents would confront Eric furious. However, Eric would disable the Vault's mainframe temporarily and drop a bombshell on the team. He was just as much a prisoner in the Vault as they were. For more than 2 years, he had quietly been working on a plan of escape. He had finalized the development of a Seraph, a prototype computer virus. Seraph will be capable of destroying even the most powerful of mainframe intelligence. The plan was to use the virus on the mainframe, shutting it down, and escaping the day the team's quotas were due.
Down. Go, 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 go!
Robotics control failure in the mainframe wing. Activating emergency fabrication protocol FS-401.
Jeanette, circuits 10, 1857.
Got it.
Fabrication system offline. Activating emergency repair protocol. CR-889.
889, that's Hans. We need a reactor brownout.
All right, give me a minute.
109's next. Jeanette?
Ready on the detonator.
Molly, are you in?
Sorry, just a...
Brown out in 3, 2, 1.
Power fluctuations detected in the engineering wing. Activating emergency stabilization protocol ES-109. Detonation in the cryogenics wing.
That should do it.
Activating superseding protocol Omega.
Eric?
That's not in the database. What?
Protocol confirmed. All exits have sealed to prevent a containment breach. Calculating optimal process to exterminate all personnel in the vault. Done. All remaining personnel may now be terminated.
I'm locked out!
Here, I got it. Cover the door. Damn it! Almost...
Data upload from compromised system detected. Suspect data stream has been quarantined.
What? Bypass! Bypass! Ah!
Ultimately, the Seraph was successful in taking down the Vault mainframe, but unfortunately not before the Vault residents were exterminated. The Vault remains open, and Specimen X-001 nowhere to be found. Despite extensive research, the identity of Specimen X-001 has never been revealed. That's not to say there isn't any theories or evidence as to what the entity could be. One such theory is that it's some sort of cryptid such as the Grafton Monster, captured by the United States government and held in the cryo bay for study. However, another theory that I think holds a lot of water is the theory that the specimen is actually the very first Zetan. A lot of people actually think it could be not just a Zetan, but in fact the Flatwoods Monster, which we've seen several times. It has the ability to shift as well as mind control. I think this is on brand. I think it's on brand for something the government would do, not only in real life, but also in the Fallout universe, to capture an alien, to want to do experiments on it, and it adds up on why the protocol was to exterminate the staff should there be an outbreak, like something tried to escape, or once the experiment concluded. That's just how the government works in terms of secrecy. I think we can conclude that there's shadow benefactor. Speaking of government cohesion, and this is the fact that Vault 96 was sanctioned by Vault-Tec, of course, but I think the shadow benefactor quite clearly here is the Enclave. If we can deduce this, because if you go to the White Street's bunker and talk to Modus in the medical wing, you can purchase some serums that will grant you various kinds of mutations. Where would we get this information in this research? I believe obviously from Vault 96. The last question I want to have answered though, however, is while the Flatwoods Monster theory holds a lot of value in my opinion, one thing doesn't add up. There may be several things, but one thing in particular, the shifting mutation that is talked about and described as being a characteristic of Specimen X-001, if you look at the Flatwoods Monster, I don't think that its shifting mutation comes from its natural abilities so much as its technology and jetpacks that it's wearing. So that being said, separated from its technology, it wouldn't have the ability to shift. So shifting wouldn't be something that could spread to those petri dishes and mimic the other mutations as perfectly. But I'll tell you what I think does fit the description even better. It's a creature from another Bethesda title. It's actually a Typhon. These are hostile aliens that are being stored on both Talos 1 space station as well as the Pythias moon base and the Prey title, as well as the subsequent Prey DLC moon crash. They are being contained for study. The goal of the study is to transfer the power of the Typhons to the human race. They are a shimmering gray and black and exist as a solid, gas, and liquid simultaneously. They can easily change the structure and solidity of their bodies. They can take the shape of anything from the size of an arachnid to a full, large humanoid shape. Each Typhon has different abilities, such as mimicking matter, where does that sound familiar, telekinesis, warping/shifting, pyrokinetic abilities, electrogenesis, and corrosive gas, and even mind control. These are all mutations that are in the game, and I think line up very nicely with the theory that the Typhon is the smoking gun. It is the mystery specimen X-001. What I find super interesting is in Fallout 4, just for a brief second, you see a mural depicting the Sea of Tranquility conflict. This was a battle that took place on the moon, and very little is known about it, who our enemies were, what we were fighting over, but it was believed to take place during the Resource War. I think it's very telling that also the Pythia's base there contained Typhon at the time that we were there. So it stands to reason that we might have already been researching Typhon and transferred them back to Earth for further study. Thus how they ended up in Vault 96. If it's ever fully revealed what the species is, what Specimen X-001 is, it will probably be the Flatwoods monster if it's something we see in game. However, if it's just something that remains a mystery, something we never physically see but know of, I believe it would be the Typhon. This is my theory on what it is. I think it has really strong facts, especially when you consider the Typhon's abilities to mimic other mutations and shift, just like it's been described by the residents of Vault 96. Make sure you guys tune in next time. We'll be discussing the Sea of Tranquility conflict in depth. We're going to take a deep dive on it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you will, please like and sub. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, so every sub and like really helps out the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next one.